All right, there we are.
And there we are. Hello. We did it. I think we're up. I think we're up and running.
We are.
Yes.
A little crooked.
All right. Well, welcome everybody to our first Facebook Live here at our new offices at beadshop.com. There we go. I can see myself. You're gonna, and Brandon zoomed in on me. There we are, I think.
Just trying to get
We're good.
feet out of the way there.
All right, perfect. Well, it's great to see everybody. Today, beadshop.com Live is going to be on Facebook only because we're still ironing out some of the kinks for our live broadcasts here at our new location. But not to worry, in a little bit later this afternoon, we're going to have the whole broadcast up on our YouTube channel. So that's the story there. All right, well, it looks like everyone's here. Everybody's coming on. Everyone's jumping in. It's great to have you all here. We're going to start this morning before we run to the project, Kate's favorite. We're going to go ahead and take a look around our great space. So I'm Kate Richburg at beadshop.com, and I'm in front of the camera. Brandon's behind the camera. We've got Janice over on the East Coast doing some moderating, and I think Gita's here as well somewhere. I think posting as beadshop.com. Yes, there she is, Gita Larson. There you are, Gita. All right. Well, we are grateful to have you guys with us, and just if you're new to watching us, we just to give you a little background. Let's see. It's Wednesday. So last week at this time, we were still unpacking boxes. We were talking about it on Monday about how the moving truck came last Monday, and then we moved, and we unpacked. We still have some tweaks to do here in our new space, but we're really super excited and stoked to be in our new space. And so where I am right now, I'm talking to you from the studio space in the new location. We do have a dedicated Facebook Live studio, but it's not quite ready yet. I'll give you guys a peek. You'll laugh to see how it still looks, which is great. Okay, so let's take a little walk around, shall we? Brandon's gonna walk with me, and I'll show you some things aren't as pristine as we want them to be, but we're gonna show it all to you. So I'm going to take my iPad with me so I can see everybody's comments. I hope some of you I think are watching us from the Midwest with that crazy polar vortex.
Hello from frozen
that's
Illinois,
going
right
on,
then.
right? Oh my gosh. Well, we hope everybody is staying warm and dry. But it's a great day for beading, for sure. Well, Brandon, shall we?
We shall. Let's go.
Well, here we are in the main room, the big space here. And you can see, and Brandon, you can even pan around as we're doing this. You can see this is where I plopped my studio, right here in the front room of beadshop.com. So this is where we're going to be holding our classes, really wonderful, fun classes. I hope that you guys travel to see us to do those classes. I've got my workbench up. We've got all kinds of fun stuff here happening. So my studio came to live here at beadshop.com, which is super exciting. So let's go, let's follow me here, and let's go check out our fulfillment space. So if we go right in here, we've got Karen and Ivan. There they are. That's where Ivan ships.
Hi.
And that's where Karen's working on the web as we speak. There we go. And in this room, we also have some of our product. We've got cords, we've got leather cord, and then over there on that wall, we've got more chain, stuff like that. So this is kind of the cord and chain room where we fulfill there. Plus new product here. And Ivan's working hard getting those orders out as we speak. Look at that. The bins are filling up. We're filling up. And here we've got more fulfillment. This is where Myra and Jenny are busy wrapping and doing all kinds of, order filling, all of it. There's the jump rings. There we've got all of our bins with all of our stuff. in. You can see that's where we keep our precious transitions live in here, right? So this is where some things get filled. And then this is where your orders get wrapped. And I know you guys love the stickers that we put on your packages. So this month we're putting a little Valentine sticker, make something special for someone you love. And we're wrapping in pink for Valentine's. Then in here, we are going to take a look at, here's the seed bead room. You guys, seed bead and check glass. So we've got check glass over there and the Matubos. Look at our beloved Matubos. And then we've got all our Miyuki seed beads going over to Super Duos, Tylas, and then on this wall, all the fire polish. So it's
dizzy.
cool.
Sorry, I'm trying to.
Yeah.
There's so much to
Yeah,
show you, Mimi.
I know.
I'm sorry.
Hang in there, Ginger. Hang in there. So, we've got in here, this room has our wonderful, beloved vintage finds, all of our popcorn Padres, our beloved wire, aged check glass right here. And then on this side, we've got our tools. And then Dakota stones over there. And our tribal and trade over there, our beloved, you know what we're working on today. Yes, that's right, shadows. Exactly. Okay, so come on along with me and I'll show you some of the rest of, this is Karen's room that isn't quite ready yet, so that's why she's working up front. But this is where Karen takes all of the photos for the web and she's going to make it nice and homey. You can see she's got the monthly mix stuff that we're bagging up and stuff, so I'll be showing you a little sneak preview of that. So, and then we've got a little bit of a portion of a lunchroom here that we're still kind of working on as well. But usually we all eat lunch out there in the studio, which is kind of nice. We have don't show them too much, Brandon. It's not very pretty. We've got 2 bathrooms, you guys. 2, which is a big deal for us. We've got a little kitchen area. It's coming along. We need to get some shelves and stuff up. We're going to have a nice big fridge there. We've got our treats. Kim Golias, you sent us some wonderful treats yesterday. We are having them as we speak almost. I think Myra is actually eating cookies in the middle, maybe not in the middle of filling, but eating a cookie, going to fill. Eating a cookie, going to fill. So,
As it should be.
as it should be. Oh, look, I'm going to have these peanut butter crackers maybe a little bit later. I'm going to take those with me. All right.
After the broadcast.
After the broadcast. We have our other little kitchen space. There's a light in there, I think. There we go. That we have. Nice little extra area.
Pencil sharpener.
Then in here,
That's
yes, my
old
pencil
school.
sharpener. That's Kate's pencil sharpener that she can't be without. I always have to have one in my studio. Now you guys are going to laugh. Here is the Facebook Live studio. Can you tell it's so not ready? Can you tell it's still a big old mess? But not for long, you guys. It's going to be really fantastic. So this is where we're going to be broadcasting a lot from this great room. The camera will always be set up. We'll have it all really great, so we'll be able to do one of those things. So it'll be really fun. So, but today we're going to broadcast from out there in the studio, which is also fun too. We're going to do some broadcasts out of there sometimes as well. So here it is. Here's everything. I'm going to turn the light off. I'll close the door. I do want to get one of those red lights, you know how they do when they film, when it says filming. You know, I want to put it like right up here. I don't know, maybe above like the pencil sharpener thing. So, yes, I always like to have my Dixon Ticonderogas ready to go. All right. Well, let's make this happen.
And now we can be nice and stable for a little
Yes,
while.
we're gonna
until
be
we move
stable.
the camera again.
Exactly. So I'm going to put, oh, and you guys didn't see my office. Brandon can, as she's turning around, she can kind of show you. It still needs to be organized a little bit more, but this is where I live right here. And I still have some boxes and stuff to deal with, but not for long. Not bad for just a week ago. This whole thing was boxes, right? We've been working pretty hard. So anyways, let's get started on today's project, shall we?
Should I bring the camera over
Yeah,
already?
let's do it. Let's bring the camera around.
Keep the movement going while we're...
And we'll just make it all happen.
Okay, let me do some little...
Okay,
movement
Brandon's
here.
going to do some adjusting. So again, sorry for all the movement, but we're going to get this. Do you want me to scoot over just a little bit, Brandon? I can't.
Well, no matter where you scoot, then I want to get closer.
Right, exactly.
I'm just trying to get
Let me
the
do
angle
this.
right here.
Okay.
Sorry, everybody.
And let me plug this in. So, well, great. I am so glad you guys liked this space. We are pretty excited about it as well. So, thank you so much, as always, for bearing with us and keep ordering while we're catching up with our shipping. And but things are going out real fast now. So we're really super happy about what we're doing and where we are. So we couldn't do it without you. So thank you so much every step of the way. We really appreciate it. So let's talk about the project today. And I thought, getting back into a Facebook Live in a new space, I wanted to do something that wasn't too taxing, right? So you guys see me wear this bracelet all the time. We call it Kate's Favorite. It's up on the website already. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the bracelet. I wear this almost every day, right? And so it's gotten a lot of wear and tear. And so I'm going to show you kind of where it's wearing and tearing, and what I used, and how you can make your bracelets last pretty long. This is done with the infinity stitch. So we're kind of on an infinity stitch kick. So you're gonna see me do that again today. But I really did want to show you how this is going together. And also Tammy Drennan, Tammy, you're watching, and there were some other bead table members that came and helped us. Sonia came, Krista came, I hope I'm not forgetting any other bead Nan came. So a lot of you also that were local came in and helped us out. So thank you so much, Tammy, you and your husband, and Krista, you and Tim, and my buddy Beth, and so many people came to really help us get on the road. And it really does take a village. We could not do it without you. So we appreciate it from the bottom of our little beady hearts. So here's the, you know what? I didn't bring a ruler, but I have one.
Where?
Actually, it's right. Take those off of there. I didn't, some of our tools, you guys, are still packed. But thankfully, I have my quilting ruler sitting right here, so I could use that to measure, so I can let you know how long this is going. So this piece, I'll tell you, is from door to door, as we like to say. And yes, Lynn, you did eyeball it. This is a button that I made. This is actually made out of a coin from Cuba from 1961. I loved how it had this star on it. I really loved it. So that's a handmade button that I did. And I know that you guys want some coin buttons. We'll make it happen, I promise. Maybe after I get the Facebook Live studio together. So door to door, this is measuring 17... about 17, 18, 19, yeah, about 20 inches, I guess. 17, is that right? 18, 19, 20, about that. And so when I wrap it, this wraps about 3 times. Now it wraps 3 times, not about 3 times. Now when I was making this, okay, I like my bracelets to be a little loose, right? And this leather, when I made it, it was a little bit tighter. The loop, the way I made this loop, I'm going to open it up. And you can see here how it's kind of stretched a little. It's looking a little worse for wear. Not too bad. It's not going to stop me from wearing it, but it has stretched a bit. Okay, and this bracelet does have some thickness to it because I am using a 2mm leather, so it's making it a little thick. So for me, this is how it fits, and it fits just fine. I wear it all the time, as you guys know. And so I used the 2mm. I chose the 2mm because I wanted it to be a little more substantial. I wanted to use the regular shadows, so they were a little bit bigger, right? And then I chose that 2mm to make it a little more chunky. I'm going to show you some different leathers. Let's look at the leather first, and then I'll come back to this. Okay. So this is the regular shadow, and as I said, the 2mm. You know what? I didn't grab it. Brandwin, I'm going to have you go and grab. I think there's one on the wall that I didn't. The 2mm distress gray. Okay. If you would. Okay. So I used the 2mm in the distress gray. This is the 1.5. Okay. And then the 1.5, when it started out, the 2.0, it looked a little more distressed. Can you see how dark? I'll get it up a little bit closer to you guys. Can you see how dark the leather has become? So your leather, especially if you wear it every day, like if you know Janice's Trail Ride bracelet, the Trail Ride has darkened as well from all of the wear and tear. It started out as a natural leather and then has darkened. This is the distressed. Thanks, Fran.
I didn't get quite a full one because
oh, that's okay.
But...
Yeah, perfect. Perfect. Thank you so much. This is the 2.0. The heavier. So can you see the difference between that one and this one? Okay. Here's this one, and here's this one. Can you see that? So that's the 2mm, and this is the 1.5. So when this was fresh, when it started out, it looked like this, right? Now it's a little darker, right? And Ginger, we'll see if we can get in a little bit tighter. We're a little bit limited also by the camera that we were using. So we'll see.
But that doesn't show. Yeah. You know, like if you move it all, I can't really.
Yeah. You can get a little tighter. I'll try and
turn the camera just a little bit so I can.
Okay. There we go. There you go, Ginger. Hopefully that's a little bit better. But we'll have our great camera set up back. I promise. Soon. We will. And so my mom, Gwen's asking, how old's the bracelet? I don't know, at least a year and a half. I don't know. We'd have to go back through and look at the videos. I think it's at least a year and a half old, I would guess. It's been kicking around on my wrist for a while. So it's worn pretty well. So the other leathers that I've just pulled that I think would also look great. I mean, you can use anything, right? Anything to any leather for your piece. I got the metallic cement here, which I think would look great. And the metallic cement, I've got some of the shadows here. So metallic cement, what I was thinking, it would really look great with the silver or the antique silver, right? And you don't need more than one strand. You just need one strand of shadows, the regular shadows, and one bundle of the leather. Okay, that's it. And then you need a button. And then you need something to either silk wrap, or you could knot this, but I'll show you. So the button that I pulled for this one, somebody on our bead table group made one that had the daisy white transparent AB. Look at how pretty that looks with that. That would look great. I also pulled this lotus in bright lavender. This would also work beautifully with that. Okay. So next, let's see what else I've pulled. I've pulled the distressed light brown. And again, I've pulled it in the 2mm. Whoops. they were all nice and bundled, you guys, a second ago. Isn't that how it is? This leather's so unruly, right? Melanie, that's a great question. Let me see. Melanie is asking, with any leather, do you recommend giving it a pull to ensure it doesn't snap before attaching it to your project? Or do you just do this with small diameter leather, say 0.5 or 1 millimeter? Yes, I do this, honestly, almost subconsciously. When I unroll my leather, I do this. I run it through my fingers just to make sure it's, I don't know, doesn't have a blemish or whatever, right? And so I kind of automatically just do that to make sure. But I do that with thread too. I kind of run it through my fingers as well. With the 0.5, you're going to see I stretch it a little bit because I want to make sure that the tension that I'm working with is not going to cause the leather to snap or break. And I think someone was asking about the coin buttons. Lynette, that's a button that I actually made that we don't have for sale on the site, but we have a couple of other great substitutions, and I'm going to show you the button that I'm substituting for it today too.
Lynette did ask if you could use a cabochon with a hole in it for the button, or do you have that already?
Sure. Yeah, you can use anything. I mean, you can use anything as a button, right? You can use, if you have a cab that has a hole, or if you have, I don't know, any kind of button will work. And if you haven't seen, if you're new to watching us and you haven't looked at all of our really great wrap bracelets, jump on to beadshop.com and check out all of our wrap bracelets. You'll see so many different patterns and buttons with different things and stuff like that. So there's a whole bunch for you.
And most of our leathers are one continuous piece?
They are all one continuous piece, everything. We cut them as a, but that's where it's a lot of leather comes from. When we reach a knot and it's not long enough, we cut it at the knot, put the knot in, or put the leather in, it's a lot of leather, and then we keep going forward with measuring so you don't have to deal with a knot, okay? So this is Distress Light Brown. And look at the button that I chose with that, you guys. This is the Dragonfly Volcano with the silver dragonfly. I think it's delicious. It's so good. And then with that, we could use, we could use shiny shadows, or we could use antique shadows. Look at how beautiful. Either of those would work, right? Now let me tell you something about the shadows that we do, you guys. We have shiny and antiqued, and we do the antiquing in-house. And the way that the metals come, these are plated. These beads themselves originate in India. And the plating, there's sometimes a little bit of variation in plating because because the metal might be a little bit of a different makeup. So it may have more brass in it, it may have more copper in it. So it really just depends. You can see on the copper shadows themselves how some of the copper, and Brandon's going to come in a little bit tighter.
Oh, actually, I was going to move out. All right, because if I come in tighter, you have to move. Can you move it
Can
down?
I move it closer or
just
down?
Yeah,
Where am I going? There we go.
Perfect.
So can you see how there is a little bit of variation when they're antiqued, but they, that's kind of the beauty of them. Okay. So that's how those are. I'm going to go back down to here. And you can see with these guys, the little shadows, the copper little shadows. Sorry, Bran.
It's just
it's not as mobile.
Yeah.
I know. If I move them to you,
that's good.
is that better?
Good.
See how the copper shadows and the little shadows antiqued in a much more uniform way, and the larger ones antiqued a little more irregularly. And so it's just kind of the luck of the draw, what you get, right? I see that we have a couple of questions here that I want to go back and address. Janice, we are no longer saving knots. That made me crazy. So I threw them all away because they made me nuts. Brandon remembers. I'm all, why do we have all these? I'm throwing them away. So sorry to rain on your parade. We did that a while back. No more knots. And then another question is, people are asking about conditioning your leather. I wear this one all the time, so I think that my skin probably, or oils from my skin probably condition it pretty well. But you could use, there are leather conditioners that you can get for shoes or things like that. There's no reason why you shouldn't. So, so they're kind of fun. It'd be kind of a good way to condition your leather if you'd like. So, so I think those are the two. Oh, and Indian or Greek leather. Melanie, that's a great question. Indian leather is a little more irregular, and I don't want to say the quality is worse, but the quality is just different. Okay? The leather has a little bit of irregularity to it, and with the Greek leather, it's very even. The color is very even. So it's just a little bit of a different look. I'll see if we can get a piece of Greek leather in a little bit so you guys can see, especially with the natural. You can really see the difference. I don't know, Bran, if you want to grab the Greek and natural off the wall, and I'll just keep going here. Ginger, I'm sorry that your heart just dropped that I threw out the knots, but I don't know. It was time. It was time for new knots, so... We just saved them. I'm sorry, I didn't know that I'd cause such a controversy by throwing the knots. We made a group decision. It wasn't just me. Let's take a look at the Greek leather here with the natural. I'm going to move this stuff aside here. Okay. Here's the Greek, and it's the 1.5. And you can see, it's kind of hard to tell actually with the Greek leather. They look pretty similar on camera, but when I hold them, I can feel that this one,
pull it down just
a little bit. There we go. Is that better?
Yeah.
This one doesn't feel quite as smooth. This one feels super smooth, super smooth. Okay. This one feels just a little, I don't want to say lumpy, but you can feel it, that there's a difference with it. Okay. And again, when the colors of the Greek leather are on, when they're dyed, it's really very uniform and even. They don't have anything like this distressed leather with this kind of multicolors, things like that. They both are fantastic. I don't really prefer one over the other. I really do like them both. Here's the natural, and I didn't grab natural in the 2mm. I grabbed the natural in the 1.5. Because the 1.5 I love, and it's, if you don't want something that's the same, that's as big as mine, you want yours a little bit smaller, you can go ahead and pop down a leather size. So with this leather, this is the 1.5 right here. I think the 1.5 would look great with the little shadows, okay? And the button that I've chosen, and it's in the one on my Kate's Favorite on the web, is this concho button, which is great. The surfer cord, for those of you who don't want to use leather cord, not a problem. The surfer cord works beautifully for a wrap. They look really, really great. So you could certainly substitute it. Okay. The other one that I've gotten here, this is the, oh, let me show you. Mimi wants to know.
It's just kind of a version of a silk.
Yeah, so all we do when we bundle our leather, we get it here and we have a little bit of a piece left. And it's basically almost a silk wrap. This is a little bit long. Let me go a little bit shorter. Here we go. And I just wrap it around. We usually wrap it like 3 times. And then we push the leather up. And we come from the other side here, and we push it through. And there it is. That's how we bundle. Okay. So this one, I think the distressed denim in 2.0 or in the 1.5mm, I grabbed the the Star Rainbow button. I also grabbed the Full Moon Emerald AB. They both have completely different looks, but they both look great with the denim. And you could, with the denim, you could use the brass, which I think looks great, or you could use the shiny, the gold, which I think looks great with that button. Look at that, so pretty. You put this one over there. It would also look great with silver. Look at the silver and that moon button. That would look beautiful, just like that. Okay?
I'll take one of those.
Those all look amazing. And then in the, yeah, Brandon says, I'll take that one. In the natural, I grabbed 2 buttons that I also think work nicely. This is the, I have it written here, I just have to read my chicken scratch here. The Star Gold Peach is this one. And remember in a couple of episodes ago when we talked about the check glass buttons, we talked about how this check glass peach, the check glass peach button differed from our old batch. It's just that these buttons do have a tendency to just be different when we get them in because glass is kind of, it varies. We could use that one with, I think it would look amazing with the brass little shadow, in my opinion, the world's perfect bead. It would also look great with this one. Look at the color contrast with the copper and the gold button. And I think would also look beautiful. This is the Jonquil Dragonfly. The silver looks amazing with it. Picks up that silver in that button. Gorgeous. Looks great with the copper. And it looks great with the brass. And with the gold. Look. Look at that. All looks good. So all you need really when you're making your own, make your own favorite. I mean, you can make Kate's favorite. Do it. I love that part. But if you want to make your favorite, just choose, I'm going to lay out all of the shadows here. You can choose little shadows or regular shadows. If you're using little shadows, use a 1.5 millimeter. I guess. I don't know. You could try it with the big one. I don't want to tell you what to do. You know what I say. You do you. We have the antique, the shiny gold and the brass, the antique silver and the regular, the shiny copper, and the antique copper. Choose your fave, you know, whatever works. And then just audition a button. I'm going to put the buttons up here just so you guys can kind of see how they go. I've got the other conchos too, the other concho buttons, because I love them. You can always mix it up. I love mixed metals. Look at how the rainbow, the star rainbow, just looks amazing for all of these. I also got that volcano dragonfly. Oh, and here, this guy. This makes it pretty. I don't know. I just want to play with these, right? That's all I want to do. Yeah, and Emily's saying black with the silver shadows. Of course, you could use just simple black leather with this white button. It would look amazing. I think it would look great. So I think they're looking pretty good. I'm going to pull these down a little bit more to you, Brandon. Is that better?
Yeah, that's good.
Great.
Very hard to turn that way.
Right, totally. There we go. I think that's a little bit better for you guys. And then you just choose the leather. Then you go to the leather section and you find leather that works for you. We don't carry 2 millimeter in everything, right? We carry it in some things. But then just pop down to a 1.5 then, you know, and get a color you like if we don't have it in the 2 mil. So just depends on what works for you. We have some beautiful metallics that would look great. So it just depends on, I think, Spidey just asked, what about the multicolor leather? There was a sample on the bead table that someone made with the multicolor leather, and it looked amazing. I loved it, loved it, loved it. And what Spidey is referring to is the gypsy leather, which we really like. I think it would look incredible with it, especially with some of the buttons that have some variegation to them. I say yes, 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 yes. So let me get going on showing you how to start this piece. We're not going to do the whole thing, but I want to show you the finer parts, kind of the finer points on what's going on here, because there are some specifics on this that I want to share with you. So let's get this going. Let me get this all out of here. And I know, isn't this beautiful? I hate to take this kind of waterfall of buttons away, but you know, all good things must come to an end. Come on, buttons, let's go. Alrighty. Then I'm going to get my tray here, and the way I set it up, we have some really great tutorials on the website that we have on how to attach a wrap onto a design board, stuff like that. I'm using the burlap insert today because I don't know, I like the burlap inserts, and I had one here. It wasn't packed away, so that's why I'm using it. The thread, the first thing I want to talk about with this, is it okay?
It just doesn't seem to be zooming out. It's going to be a fairly tight zoom. I don't know why I can't get it to zoom out any more than that.
That's okay. The thread that I've used here is the Hana. Okay, and the Hana thread, and Janice can go on more about it as well, but we had the Hana thread for a while, and then we didn't have it for a while, and I love it. My favorite in Hana is the pebble, and that's this one here. It's this gray. And we thought, well, you know, we'll just have to, you know, we could just use the KO. KO is awesome. You know, it's that smoke gray. It works. It works really, really well. We like it. But it just wasn't the right color. Okay. And so we thought, you know what? We're going to bring Hana back. Hana, I love the durability. It's very similar to KO. Very, very similar. It might be just a hair thicker, maybe. Just a hair thicker. And again, this gray Hana and Pebble is, to me, the perfect color. I use it for everything, right? We also have Hana in the acorn, the brown. We have it in the black, and we have it in bone, which is kind of just a slight ivory color. We love it, love it, love it. So that's what I used to ladder with this piece. And so let me show you on the side. You can see that, and if we really look at this bracelet, it's in pretty good shape. You know, it has a few little areas of wear and tear, maybe down here, but not too badly. So for a road test experiment with this Hana has really, really held up. Okay, so to ladder, to get everything ready, you can see here where I connected my button. I used leather for it, and the leather, I was a little worried that it wouldn't work. But it seems to be holding all of these months later, years later. You could do this silk wrap, of course, with regular Ceylon. You could just tie a knot, any of those things. Ginger's asking me, do I wash dishes with it on, Kate? Ginger, I actually don't wash dishes. So that was a little flip, but it's true. Chris does most of the dishes. No, I take all of my jewelry off. I take it off when I go to bed. I take it off when I take a shower. I don't wear any of my jewelry in the water, maybe that's why it has a longer life. So I'm going to use, this is the 0.5 millimeter to do that silk wrap. And here is my 2 millimeter. Maybe I'll do it in a different color. Maybe I'll do it in this brown, since we'll be a little bit different. Okay, And so I'll take this off. I think I just picked a scrap out of the It's a Lot of Leather bin when I did this, honestly. So I'll tell you how much I used by kind of measuring it. And I need a little bit extra. Let's see. And again, sorry you guys about our filming today. Brandon's doing an amazing job working with the iPhone and doing all that. We'll be back up to our really high quality broadcast after I get back from Tucson in just a couple weeks.
And I do think what it's doing is like micro focusing.
Focusing, yeah.
So sorry about it going in and out of focus,
Yeah,
but I think whenever Kate does something interesting.
Yeah, it wants to follow me. So thanks for hanging in there. So I used, I'll tell you how much this is. This is 17, 20, let's see, 17, 27, 31, 36. So that's, yeah, so that's, it's about a yard. I used about maybe a yard and a foot about, okay? And so so now I'll just add the button. Let me grab a button. I think I'll use this brass concho. And I'll just slip it on so it goes to the middle. And now I could, instead of silk wrapping, I could crimp it with the transition bead, right, our transitions. I could knot it like so, but what I did was silk wrap it. What I want to do though, before I do that silk wrapping, is I want to prepare my thread, because that thread's going to get caught in that silk wrap. So I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to use the Hana and Pebble, my all-time favorite color. And I should have brought my spool of Hana that I had. I've had it for a while, and I don't know if I ran it over with like my office chair or something happened, but it got totally smushed, but I'm still using it. Doesn't matter. The board here is about 14 inches. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 lengths of the board. Okay? And I'll clip this away. I'm using our Xuron thread scissors today. I love those guys. And we're going to go in. I'm going to get a size 10 needle. I could also do this with the sharps if I wanted. I am a fan of laddering with the sharps, but I pulled just the regular size 10 beading needles. And the sharps, and you're wondering, well, why are you such a fan? Well, I'm a fan because they're short. They're a short, stubby little needle like this. And especially when you're not infinity stitching something that's super wide, it feels like they're really substantial and they sail through your beads really fast. Sometimes this this needle, I have a tendency to want to bend it a lot. And Lynn is saying, and yes, Lynn, thank you for reminding me, if you do decide to tie knots at the ends, you do want to add a little bit extra. And I automatically added some extra. So if I said it was, maybe I would go 1, 2, 3 feet, 4 feet. Maybe I'd go like 4.5 feet, maybe, I think is probably what I'd do. So now I'm just going to needle my thread, or I place the eye of the needle on top of the thread. Pull it through. Now remember, you guys, with infinity stitch, we double. So I've doubled that over. Here's my needle on this end. It's not a ridiculously long piece of thread because we're not afraid to add thread. And I've done a broadcast on how to add thread without fear. Now I'm just going to wax it. And that was 4.5 feet, Mimi, for the leather, about 4 board lengths for my thread here. So now I'm going to lay this in. And I'm going to silk wrap. And you can see I'm just going to ignore my little thread there. I'm not going to worry about it. Now I'm going to come in and silk wrap. Maybe I will silk wrap with a contrasting color so you guys can see it. This is where I really test it. See, there we go. I pulled that apart, so I don't want to use that piece. There we go. This looks like a nice, good piece. Because it's so thin, I want to make sure that that it doesn't have a weak point, okay? Because when I pull the silk wrap underneath, I don't want it to break. So this looks good. I'm going to clip away and you're like, what? How long is that piece? I'll tell you, this is like a foot. It's probably too long, but that's what I'm using. Now, my needle for my Hana is down here towards the end. I've got the tails up by the button. And to start to silk wrap, we have a bead shop, a skill builder on this. But I'm going to start, here's my loop. I'm going to actually place, my button kind of gets in the way. So I'm going to wrap down, I'm going to have my loop here. I've got about, I don't know, a little bit. Usually it's about 1/3 to 2/3 here. So I've got my thread, my leather down, makes the loop, comes up here. It's laid on the leather. I've got my Hana in there too. It's a little funky to grip, right? But I get all of this and I pinch this in between my thumb and my index finger of my right hand here. Now this long end is what I'm wrapping with, okay? So I make one really good right angle wrap. So I'm locking everything in. Sorry, but not that close to the, I'm thinking about other things, I'm thinking ahead. Let me do this again. I am wrapping down towards the loop, but I'm pinching up at the top here, and you'll see what I mean here. So here I do my first nice tight wrap. There we go. And I want to leave enough room here so that my button movement.
Sorry, I don't know why it switched to me.
Oh, that's okay.
I didn't even touch anything.
Yeah, you guys got to see Brandon. That's okay. So see how I'm wrapping one. There's Brandon. I can see her.
Panicking.
That's all right. I don't know. You're asking me now, how many wraps are you making, Kate? I don't know. Enough, I guess. I'll tell you. 2, 4, 6. Maybe that's 7 wraps. What did I do here? 2, 4, 6, 7. I did 7 on this one. Okay, that's okay. Now here, I get this leather and the Hana out of the way, and the end that I was just wrapping with, I push it through the loop. Whoops. I said, come on, really? I said I push it through the loop. There we go. Now I hold on to all of this. Now with this hand, I'm going to pull here, and that brings that loop up. And see how it's capturing the leather? I kind of have to play with it a little, like I tighten it up a little bit here. You could add a little bit of glue down there, okay? Whoops, and that one pulled. That's okay, because it's popped underneath. And I'd add just a tiny bit of thread there. I like the number of wraps, JP. Sorry, I'm going to do me on this one. I like the way that looks. I think it's better with a few more extra wraps with the leather. And then I could add just a drop of glue here, and then I'll cut this extra away. Okay? And I'm actually going to cut it kind of close here as well to get it out of the way. Now up here, I'm going to cut those away, and see that little extra bit. I'm actually going to leave because I'm going to pull this just a little bit more to get that little end in. Okay, but I'm going to do that later. All right, so here it is. I just silk wrapped over the cord. Cindy, I didn't tie it. Okay. So now I'm just going to attach this to the board. And if you don't want to silk wrap with leather, silk wrap with Ceylon or with Chinese knotting cord.
Yeah,
You
somebody
know?
said Fireline, but I don't think that would be a very good.
You know, I think Fireline is too thin to silk wrap with. That's just my 2 cents. But there's no harm in trying it out to see if it works.
You don't think it cut through the leather?
I don't know. Probably not. You're not wrapping it so tight that it's going to cut through. Here's my little clip on the board, right? I've made a little loop. I'm going to put that button in so I'm looking at the back. And then I'm just going to attach this down here. I'm going to clip it, but usually I'd have like a little, I'd tie it on, or I'd have a little baggie here. I'm going to get that into frame so it wouldn't damage the leather. Wax linen for the wrap, Mary Ellen, 100%. It would look great, wax linen. I think it would, anyway. So you can see how my threads, my legs of my leather are kind of tight together here. I'm going to use you can use your spool to kind of spread your, make your little opening here with your leather. Then you're ready to jump in. Okay, so just quick on the infinity, because we've been infinitying
For infinity.
like crazy. Right, for infinity, as Brandon just said. I'm going to get my shadows. I know they're sitting here. I just have to find them. Maybe I'll use, instead of brass, let's use these antique copper ones, shall we? Make it a little different. Now, in my sample, but I don't have them, you don't have to do it. Can you see how I've,
Try zooming.
or I can get a little closer to you too. Can you see how I've used a little shadow to taper? Okay. This bead is pretty small. The big shadow is not giant. But if you have a little shadow hanging around, you can use it to taper. You can use like a seed bead, size 8 seed bead would work. I have, let's see, I'm going to get one of these out of this monthly mix I'm going to show you. Let me see. I'm going to get a brown one right here. That would work to taper up. And what I mean by tapering is that we need, as Janice says, you need a little bit of air so that your laddering kind of tapers out nicely, so it's not a kind of a start and stop that kind of juts out. So I'm right-handed, so I start my infinity stitch to my left hand. I put my bead on, and we're thinking it's a figure 8, right? So I'm going under, this is the right hand leather, so I'm going under that leather. I'm pushing that bead right into place. Now this only happens on the first bead. So now I'm going to come over the leather on the left hand side. I go through and I go under the leather on the left. So what I've created is a little figure 8. I've gone over and under, over and under. So now I'm going to go back through that first bead one more time so it's sitting correctly. Okay. So see how I'm going over the left side I put my needle through the bead, then I pop it under the right side, pull it all through. There we go. Over the left side, put the needle all the way through, and pop it down under the left side. Okay, so there's my second figure 8. You put my finger again and give it a little tug so it's nice and even. Someone was mentioning doing a macrame start to this. Yes, by all means, it would look great. So there I went under. I'm going to come back. And sometimes I do this. See, I come back through and I don't pull the thread all the way through. I dip it under the leather and then pull it. Makes it go a little bit faster. I know I've gotten Emily hooked on the infinity. So here, see how I have my finger underneath? I come under. See how I just push my needle under that right-hand side? And if you guys are having connection problems, it may be the weather and stuff where you are. On the replay, it's usually pretty seamless. So you can watch the replay too. And it should be pretty easy. Come through, get the needle through, and come underneath. Okay, I'm going to do a couple more. It's almost time for us to go. But see how I kind of squeeze the 2 beads I've done through my fingers, and I just give it a little extra tug, just a little bit, right? It just helps you get everything even and together. The beads go on with infinity stitch. They go on fast. You know, they go on pretty quickly. You don't have to get fancy with this one. Don't even start and stop. Just infinity until it fits you. You got to try it on to make sure. But see, I've already got 4 on here. These are regular shadows, Lynn. You could use little shadows and 1.5 millimeter leather. You could even use 1 millimeter leather with the little shadows. It would look good. And Janet asked, am I bringing the shadows and leathers to Tucson? No, I'm sorry, Janet. We don't really travel with our product. I am going to be teaching, so I'll be there. But the product will not. But place an order. It'll come to you. It'll make your way. It'll make your way to you.
Is your thread doubled?
Yeah, the thread, Tanya, it is doubled. Can you see that?
You said that at the
Always doubled for infinity. And if you missed it at the beginning, you can always watch the rebroadcast. And do go on, you guys. If you have not explored, I know that some of you are new. If you haven't explored all of the designs on beadshop.com, you just go right to the homepage. You click on projects, and there's everything is there. There are so many projects. You could do one a week and you wouldn't finish in a year, probably. There's so many things. The Tucson dates. So what's happening with Tucson is I leave on Friday. I set up my classroom on Friday, and then I start teaching on Saturday. So I will be teaching at the Jogs show. I'll be there from Saturday through Tuesday. If you're there, do please come and say hi. I'd love to see you. And then I will be out and about. Emily is joining me, so we'll be doing our broadcast, our Facebook Live next week from Tucson. And then I'll be out and about. I may pop in a little bit to do some lives from Tucson. And stay tuned to your newsletters. Drea will have all of the information with the newsletters. See what I did here? Let me show you. This is a mistake I make all the time. Okay. So I've come through and see how my thread is on top like this, right? I want to I do this all the time. I put the thread, I put the bead on, and I go, oh, great, I'm ready. Look, can you see how my thread, what I've forgotten to do is go under, so there's no locking in of this thread. So I need to take this bead out. It's when I get going super fast, I forget it that way. So I need to go under the leather, okay? So to start, I am putting on the bead from the left. I go through the bead, and then I'll just pass my needle under the right-hand side of the leather, okay? And as I pull my thread tight, that bead nestles in between the legs, okay? Then, now, I don't have any thread here, so I have to go over the top, through the bead hole, then I dip my needle under the left-hand side of the leather, okay? Now I'll do it again. One last one. Here's the bead, right? Just kind of let it hang out under the leather, nestle over the leather through the bead hole, and dip under the left-hand side. So there you go. What you're doing is figure eight, figure eight, figure eight, figure eight, like that. Okay, that's it. Ta-da! Beautiful. So Janice wanted me to remind all of you that she is having, and we'll put it in the newsletter as well, Janice is having a bead get-together on her side of the country at her place in Virginia. It is March, let me see if I can see the date. What did you say? March, let me see, JP. March 23rd, I see. Space is limited, so you can sign up, or you can email Drea at info@beadshop.com, and she can put you down as an RSVP. It's a lot of fun. I wish I could go, Janice. Maybe next year. We'll see. Who knows? Now let's look at closing. You guys, we're going to close this just how we started it. We could close it with another silk wrap here, right? I could close it with a knot. I could close it with a transition bead, right? Any way you'd like to do it. I made the front and the bottom, the top and the bottom, come together with the wraps. So that's how I closed it. And you would do it just the same way. And then at the very end, I tied a knot. I don't know why I like the knot so much at the end, but I do. But you could, again, silk wrap it again, you know, whatever you did. But I like the way the knot looks. So, whoops, sorry. So it just depends on what you like. You can see here I used the pebble. I did want to point out that I used the pebble with this Distress Light Brown. But we also have the acorn. If you wanted it to match almost perfectly, that acorn would look great too. But I love the contrast of this. I'm going to take it off, and maybe Brandon can get a tight shot so you can see it with the button and everything as well. Look at how pretty that, am I in the right space at all?
In the right space.
Okay.
I'm trying to decide. You're actually zooming it, so I'm not sure if
am I
want
okay?
to zoom.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm just going to stay here.
Yeah, that, I don't, I think you're right at the top, so I don't know how much.
Okay. Hopefully you guys can see that pretty well.
There we go.
There we go.
We'll zoom in.
Great. So that's all there is to it. That's all there is to Kate's favorite. What I want you to do is choose your favorite. Maybe your favorite and my favorite are the same, or maybe you want to go out on your own. For natural leather, Sandra, here's the natural. I don't know, maybe I'd use the acorn. I would probably, I'll tell you, I'd probably use the acorn because this natural leather is going to darken, and it's probably going to darken to about this color. So that's probably what I'd use, the acorn, the brown. Well, my table, before we turn it around, Brandwin, I do want to share one more thing with you guys. And this would be a fun thing to make a ladder bracelet with too. We have a new monthly mix that's coming out on the 1st. And this is the Concho button, Jackie. That's what this is. And this button is the one that's listed on the project. Okay, so if you pop over to beadshop.com under projects, you'll see Kate's favorite and everything will be listed. Okay, so this is a little sneak peek. This is our monthly mix for February. Yeah, I do. I want a bowl. Thanks.
Bounce a little bit.
And this is Karen's mix that she made. She made it in tribute to Black History Month in February. And we have called this one Maya. And we have done a mix of 8s, of 6s, and of Padres in there. And it is so good, so beautiful. And I think this would make a great ladder bracelet. You know, some of you in the group know that Ali Mori has been making a ladder bracelet a month with every monthly mix. Well, she's going to be coming soon in February to share all of those with you. We're going to have more information in the newsletter, but it's going to be a decadent 12 wrap show. It's just going to be crazy. And yes, we did this in honor of Maya Angelou, and you'll see the wonderful poem that we have that inspires us by the great Maya Angelou. It's on the website when this is published. You'll see the poem that she's written. It also means a lot to our Jenny. Our Jenny is also very partial to that poem as well. So we kind of got together. There she is. She looked around the side. But it's really fantastic. So you can jump on the 1st. It will be up and ready for you guys to purchase. Our beautiful Maya, our Karen made mix, along with a little inspiration there from our Jenny. It'll go on sale. I think it goes on sale at midnight on the 1st of February. We're just wild about it. We just love it so much. But on that note, Brandwin, while you're going around, I'll tell you, those of you who are watching today and who are placing an order might be able to get that mix a little bit early.
Ooh, I gotta unplug.
Oh, you can just unplug it.
I know. I just was like,
Right.
oh, that's
Wait a
why.
minute.
I forgot about that.
And it's, Cindy, it's in the big tube. These are big beads. So last month's mix, we had them in the small tubes because they were such tiny beads, but we're back to the regular size tube right now. So as I say, it'll be, it's in that 20 gram tube, and it'll be available starting on the 1st of February. But if you guys, Brandon caught me rubbing my face like this, like, oh my gosh, I got through it. Our first broadcast in our new space.
There.
There we go.
Is
Are
fun.
we good?
Sorry.
I know, right? Sorry, we're working on the phone, but you know what? We're doing it. Sorry, I didn't need to look so downtrodden there for a second. I'm okay. I'm good. Don't you worry.
There we go. We're happy
good
now.
Yes, awesome. So, today, first of all, today is the 30th of January, 2019. And we have this offer going on all day. It went out in your newsletters today. But you can place an order and add favorite, and we have marked shadows and buttons 25% off. So just run the gamut. Get every shadow you want, right? Toss them in, you'll be ready to go. And the buttons, you'll all be set for that. So this is for favorite, for 25% off. For both of those two categories. It ends tonight at midnight Pacific time. So if you are watching this at a later date, I'm sorry that you didn't get in on the discount, but go ahead and sign up for our newsletter at beadshop.com. All of our discounts and deals and giveaways, all that kind of stuff, that's how we communicate it to you. So it's favorite 25 for the discount. In the next hour, between now, it's about 11:45. We'll extend this until about 1 o'clock Pacific time. So it's now 11:45. If you put in your shipping notes Bay Road, that's our new street, Bay Road, we are going to do a drawing. 3 orders, we will toss in the mix. Okay, so the mix, you'll get 1 Maya, but not everyone will. We're doing 3. So 3, we'll do the drawing tomorrow and toss it in your mix. So between now and about 1 o'clock Pacific time. So that's it. That's what I've got for you. A raffle and a discount. I think we did okay. Brandon, you were amazing on the phone.
We're going to get this down.
We're going to get it down.
And pretty soon we'll have a lovely dedicated room.
That's right. We're going to have so much. But it's not too bad for just a week ago. Those of you who are on the bead table, you saw all the boxes that were in here. So, but a big, big, big shout out. There's a lot of shout outs that have to happen today. First and foremost, to the team here. You guys were, they know it. They know how amazing they are. But they worked super hard. They got those beads off the wall, into boxes, back up on the walls here at the new space. It was no small feat. Thank you to our friends who came and helped. Thank you, it was amazing. We couldn't have done that help without you. Janice and Drea, you guys holding down the fort on the East Coast while we were scurrying around trying to get everything in order here at our new digs. So it was great. You know, it's one of those things where you think that, oh yeah, you know, it's just gonna happen, and you don't realize kind of the enormity of the task that you've taken on. But I think we did a pretty good job. So we're back, we're happy, we love our new space, and we will see you guys next week. Emily and I will see you in Tucson. Our broadcast is called the Wire Olympics, and I think you're gonna love it. There's no Free Tip Friday this week, you guys, because I'll be flying, but I will pop in, I hope, from time to time. Keep an eye out on your newsletters to give you some sneak peeks what's going on in Tucson. Beautiful weather in the desert, I'm hoping. And you know where to find us, right here at beadshop.com. Everything you need to make this fantastic project and so much more. So I'll see you guys next week for the Wire Olympics, and then we'll be back here at our new space for another broadcast from beadshop.com headquarters. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.